أشهد
أشهد
أن لا
أن لا
إله
إله
إلا الله
إلا الله
وأشهد
وأشهد
أن
أن
محمدا
محمدا
رسول الله.
رسول الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Hello Muslim friends of the world. Why is it that in developed countries such as Europe and the United States now many people are moved to want to study Islam? This phenomenon occurred after the events of September 11th. Glorious and advanced nations are converting to Islam in droves, but on the other hand, in underdeveloped and poor countries, many people want to apostatize, leave from Islam. Why does this phenomenon occur? Those who study Islam properly find Islamic teachings balanced and relevant. Islam does not forbid modernity. In fact, Islam is a driving force towards advanced and modern life. But Islam also provides space for spiritual education in the midst of this materialistic life. Islam is easy and flexible. Its procedures for worship are regulated by scientific disciplines that have been relevant throughout the ages. Islam is in accordance with human nature, which requires calm and peace in life. Islam is universal, not monotonous, and strongly rejects the practice of monkhood. A Muslim, when he stands as a prayer leader, he is also a leader, organizer, fighter, and dedicated worker. A famous Orientalist, H.A.R. Gibb, unabashedly praised Islamic teachings. He said, "Islam is not merely a teaching of worship and ceremonies. In fact, Islam includes politics and statehood, social and economic matters, law and power, as well as war and peace." Islam is a living system. This is one of the attractions of Islam for advanced thinking Westerners. They find harmony between Islam and a modern, productive lifestyle. The characteristics of productivity in Islam include placing worship and work as one vision and mission in life. Islam demands that each of its followers be a productive Muslim. The Prophet Muhammad said, "If the end of the world is about to come and in the hands of one of you there are seeds that he wants to plant, then if he is able, let him plant them." Hadith narrated by Al-Bukhari and Imam Ahmad. Europe has a minority Muslim population compared to other continents. Only about 5% of the total population in Europe. However, some countries actually have a larger proportion of Muslims than the overall percentage. There are 5 facts about the high Muslim population in Europe, namely as follows. France and Germany are the countries with the largest Muslim populations in Europe. In 2016, France had 5.7 million Muslims, while in Germany there were as many as 5 million Muslims. Apart from that, in the European Union there are also countries that have a Muslim population of a quarter of the total population. There are 300,000 Muslims in Cyprus and the majority are Turkish Cypriots. They are native citizens of Cyprus and not migrants. Europe's Muslim population continues to increase. From mid-2010 to mid-2016 alone, the percentage of Muslims increased by 1%. From 19.5 million to 25.8 million people. Pew Research analyzes that by 2050 it could double. The main factor in the increase of Muslims in Europe is the large number of migrants who come. Even though migrants' entry permits to Europe will be restricted, the Muslim population will still increase by around 7.4%. This is because Muslims in Europe are still young and have high fertility rates. The majority of European Muslims are young and have many children. In 2016, the average age of Muslims across Europe was 30.4 years. This age is 13 years younger than the median for other Europeans, 43.8. Looked at another way, 50% of all European Muslims are under 30 compared to 32% of non-Muslims in Europe. In addition, because of the high fertility of Muslim women, the average Muslim woman in Europe has 3 children, a difference of 1 child compared to only 2 for non-Muslim women. Migration is a major factor in Muslim growth. An estimated 2.5 million Muslims came to Europe for reasons other than seeking asylum, such as to work or study. Around 1.3 million more Muslims became refugees and settled in Europe. It is estimated that 250,000 Muslims left the region during this period. Apart from migrants, the second factor in increasing the Muslim population is natural growth. There were 2.9 million more new births of Muslim babies than deaths. In the many reports about converts to Islam, it turns out that religious conversion is not the main factor. Only around 160,000 people have recently converted to Islam. Islamic stereotypes in Europe. A 2016 Pew Research Center survey conducted in 10 countries found that negative views about Muslims were prevalent in Eastern and Southern Europe. However, the majority of respondents in the UK, Germany, France, Sweden, and the Netherlands gave Muslims a favorable assessment. This view is related to the ideology that Muslims believe in. They also surveyed right-wing and left-wing parties regarding their views on Muslims. Their negative views are more pronounced in Germany, Italy, and Greece. While many people in the West celebrated Christmas and Hanukkah last week, significant global changes seem to go unnoticed. However, it turns out that in some places this century, the number of people celebrating Ramadan will exceed those celebrating Christmas. Reporting from the Islamic Information, currently, there are 2.2 billion Christians and 1.97 billion Muslims throughout the world. However, due to Muslims' higher birth rates, an average of 2.9 children per woman compared to 2.6 for Christians, Islam is projected to become the world's dominant religion around 2075, according to Pew Research. In general, the birth rate in Europe is 1.49, which is below the replacement rate of 2.1. Europe's population declined by 1.1 million last year, which was the beginning of significant change. Meanwhile, the Muslim birth rate in Europe is 2.54, indicating that demographics are shifting towards a Muslim population. From mid-2010 to mid-2016 alone, the percentage of Muslims increased by 1%. From 19.5 million to 25.8 million people.